I was like, you know what? If there is one thing I can do, it's talk. And so if I have to talk, if I'm able to talk, I should talk for the Lord.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Vox Pauli podcast. Thanks for tuning in to the voice of Paul here at St. Paul's. Today, we have a very, very, very special guest. She may be the first guest that's louder, bigger personality, more eccentric, more outgoing than me. She's known all around here. She's more than a myth. She's just a living legend. Welcome to the show, Kylie Burroughs.
Thank you, Andrew.
Oh, it is a pleasure to have you on, Kylie. I've been looking forward to this one for a while since we got this scheduled. You're kind of known around here as, you're a cheerleader. You're on the Wisconsin football and basketball. You're a cheerleader, but you're kind of the cheerleader around St. Paul's, I'd like to say.
Thank you so much.
You kind of bring everyone's spirits that way. But tell us a little bit about the cheerleading, team. What's it about?
Wow.
Your background, how you got to that place.
You're so flattering. Thank you. Well, I did gymnastics my whole life. Growing up, I started that probably when I was like 2 years old with mommy and me classes. Full transparency.
So your mom has to do gymnastics too with you?
No, you're like just walking across a beam at that point.
Gotcha.
So she kind of holds your hand while you do it.
Gotcha.
But full transparency, I wasn't very good at gymnastics. I in the grand scheme of things, it got me the skills I needed for cheer, but like to go to college for gymnastics, that kind of thing, it's crazy hard.
Right.
But
you're not gonna be like Simone Biles.
No. But I loved it, and it did teach me to tumble and stuff. And I always knew I wanted to do cheerleading because I think it fits my personality. I think I'm just loud enough. And so in high school, I tried out for the cheer team. And I made the cheer team, and I made like the competition team and stuff for our high school. And so I loved it. Did it all 4 years of high school. And I still did gymnastics in high school, but shout out to my old gym because they let me come once a week maximum and then just go to the meets. So I like barely practiced gymnastics in high school, but I still was involved in that. And then college, I knew I wanted to cheer in college. I knew that I had a skill set like high enough to get me to a collegiate team. And so I did not know I wanted to cheer for Wisconsin. I didn't think I wanted to go here actually. But I did eventually get into the school, and I decided I wanted to go to Wisconsin, kind of. I was between two schools, and I was like, okay, whichever one I am able to cheer for is the one I'll go to. And I made Wisconsin's team, and I was really excited. I honestly didn't think I was going to. And I made the team, and I was like, okay, locked in. I'm going to Wisconsin for sure.
You're a Badger.
I am a Badger. If you want to be a Badger, come along with me, I guess. But so there's that. But I made the team, and we do tryouts in the spring and in the fall. And the spring is a lot more formal. It's like kind of a whole reset to the roster every year. And the fall is more informal. I feel like it's usually used more so to bring more people into the team than anything else. But made it that spring. Really, really bonded with my class a lot. There were 9 of us girls that made it in the spring. And so we all got super close, and I love our organization here. We do a lot. We cheer for men's and women's basketball. We cheer for football. Last year we started cheering for volleyball. We did it a little bit last year, and now we're doing volleyball full time, which it sounds like a lot, but when you love it, it's not that, like it doesn't feel like that. It's like the norm. I've always been busy though, so I guess there is that. But
right.
It's awesome. We do all those sports. We cheer for them. And we do lift. We practice our own routines and stuff too. And it's a really good time. And I am so close to my teammates now. I live with people from cheer, and we do a lot together. We hang out a ton outside of practice, and which is crazy because we're together already for however many hours a week. But it's really cool.
What's one of your favorite stories of you as a cheerleader on the team?
Well, my favorite moment was 100% riding out on the Bucky wagon at my first football game. So,
what's the Bucky wagon?
Oh my gosh, let me tell you what the Bucky wagon is. It's basically this little red wagon, and at football, before the game starts, like before the players and the flags run out, a wagon drives down the middle of the field and it's got like sirens going and it's got like foam and smoke blowing out of it. And it like speeds down through the like ramp and it goes to the middle of the field and it stops there and like the sides are lined with cheerleaders and then Bucky's on the back of it and basically we all hop off, including Bucky. The wagon drives away. Cheerleaders kind of split. We wave to the fans, whatnot, and then Bucky waves his flag. And then we all run with Bucky and the flag back over by the student section, and then we line up and run the flags and the team out. But
what was that first moment like?
It was awesome. So I actually had cheered in Camp Randall prior to making the team because that is where high school football state is. And so I had the pleasure of going to Camp Randall my junior year of high school. And so like I knew what the stadium was like, but it is not filled for high school state. You know, you get the fans,
right,
but it is not filled to the
it's not a game day where you got 80,000 fans, Bratz isn't packed, the city of Madison isn't
like
filled.
That.
Yeah.
And so my first game day, I was so excited. Obviously, I still am every game day. Like, I'm so excited. But got in the Bucky wagon, and, like, the band congregates beforehand because they go out for pregame. And so, like, we watch all of them flood out, and we wait on the wagon. And it's, like, in the what is it called?
The hallway.
I'm forgetting what it's called.
The end zone.
No, it's around. People walk in it. The
tunnel.
Not the tunnel. It's like the...
I don't know.
Okay, the part where everybody walks. Like the concrete circle. Concourse.
The concourse.
The concourse.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Took us a bit.
It took... Sorry. I get the word, but not the word. So it's like you go through the concourse and then the band floods out through the tunnel and then we're just waiting there. And it's always fun. I feel like I always see somebody that I know while I'm just like standing on the Bucky wagon. And that's always exciting. And we have a cheer called We Ready that we do before every football game.
Can you give us a little preview of what's the We Ready chant?
It's like if you were on the team, I would be like, hey, Andrew, I'm ready. Are you ready? And then you'd be like, I'm ready. Kennedy, are you ready? And then she'd be like, yeah, I'm ready. And the last person says, yeah, I'm ready. And then we all go, we ready. What? We ready. It's awesome. It's really cool. Like when we're all doing it and we like jump on the wagon. So like we're like bouncing. It's really fun. Bucky's on the wagon with us.
Sounds very cheer type.
It's so fun. It gets you so hyped. And then if you're not on Bucky wagon, you go out through a different tunnel and you do it in that tunnel too. So no matter where you are,
you're doing the We Ready chant. Yeah,
we ready.
We might have to start doing the We Ready chant before the Vox Pauli. I mean, this can be fired me up. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And we do it before routines too. Like we'll do that before we go and perform things.
Gotcha.
So,
does it ever you ever get tired of it?
Oh, absolutely not.
Oh.
Absolutely not. I think I started saying it last night just for fun. But
when you're brushing your teeth, we ready.
Maybe I should start doing that before exams. It's got to be good luck.
Oh, for sure. Well,
yeah, but so I'm hyped up, and then the wagon starts, and it goes fast, and there's like a little bump that it goes over, so you low-key got to hold on. And then you're like hanging off the side, like waving. And then I was not informed in advance of the foam. So I was kind of just getting pelted with foam. But it was awesome because like there's smoke and there's foam and you come out and people go crazy for Bucky Wagon. And you like ride out into a stadium with 80,000 people in it. And there is just not a feeling like that.
Yeah, it's just the roar of the
like,
crowd. And...
Yeah. And it's awesome. It really is just like the best moment. And I still love that moment. Every game, it never gets old.
Wow.
But first game, that was really special.
So what's your favorite thing to do as a cheerleader, you know, in terms of like the physical routines?
Well, probably pyramids. That's where we, stack three layers of people. Those are probably my favorite. I do enjoy tumbling. That takes a toll on the body.
You're going to have to explain what tumbling is to me.
Tumbling is doing flips.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
You can just stand and do flips. You can stand and do flips into flips, or you can run into flips.
Wow.
That's what tumbling is.
Very impressive.
Yes, thank you.
Tell us about the time. Now, I'm at the Wisconsin-Nebraska game last year in Lincoln.
Oh, gosh.
And we see the cheer team come out, and Kylie's there with the flag. Give the audience a little story about that.
Yeah, so we have a pretty heavy flag that we run, and usually at home games, our boys will run it. They really know how to, they practice it at practice and whatnot. But how we used to do away games was that all girl, which is the girls that lift girls, would be separate away games from co-ed, which are boys that lift girls. And so I'm all girl, I'm a base, which means I'm one of the lifters. So Nebraska was an all-girl away game, and so they would always ask if one of the girls would want to run the flag. And my freshman year, I did not do too hot at running the flag at my away game. And so I asked for redemption, if I could try again, come back from that. And so there was an original path, and then Nebraska ran out before us, as you know, the home team always does. And the path just wasn't really clear anymore, but I was kind of going to run it anyway. And so I started down that path, and then I was told that they were like, the path was going to change. Our team was going to run out a different route. So I turned around to run the other way, but the football team had already started to run, and they're faster than me. So I started at the front, but was quickly submerged with all of our players. And
it's my like a goal, stampede, just falling back into the animals.
My goal was to just like stay on my feet, get the flag down, get it back, like get the crowd hype. Meanwhile, Nebraska is booing like crazy. Right. I'm not gonna lie, I love running into a crowd that's booing. There's just something about it that makes me so excited.
Well, especially when you got that Nebraska, go big red.
Yeah, which, you know, to be fair, we have cheers that say go big red. So like, that's like,
oh, interesting.
Exciting. We don't use them when we're against Nebraska.
I think Wisconsin needs a better cheer because last year we were at USC versus Nebraska, and we're going through this USC crowd. Now, one of my best friends, Greg Lyon, who's been mentioned on the pod pretty much every podcast. Greg. And we're going through the crowd. I'm with him and a bunch of his Nebraska buddies. Mm-hmm. And we're going through this crowd, and we're just getting booed as we're entering the stadium. But all of a sudden, one of their friends shouts out, you know, does the Go Big Red chant. And it just silences the crowd. It's such a great chant. And I think Wisconsin's got to come up with something like that. Because what we have right now is just, you know, 1st and 10 Wisconsin.
We actually do have other cheers that we like to start. We have Let's Go Reds, which are classic.
Okay.
We have signs for that. We do them at most football games.
Gotcha. I think the fans got to find out about these.
Right? There's obviously, you also probably are familiar with We Want More.
Yeah, right.
That's a cheer.
That is a cheer, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there's also when we're in the red zone, we always do an oh, yell it, let's go, red, oh,
nice.
And that one's fun. It goes to the beat of the band. But we do have cheers.
Okay.
Perhaps
we just need to do a little evangelizing with the fans.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, to spread the cheers a little bit more.
Yes.
Well, speaking of evangelizing, you yourself claim to be a Christian evangelist, do you not?
I do my best.
You do your best. You have a Spirit Squad Bible study, right?
That is true. It is not technically like affiliated with the Spirit Squad. I should mention that right off the bat. It is nothing that our team requires or promotes, anything like that. I just decided last year that I knew that there were a lot of people with Christian faith on the team. Mm-hmm. And so I sent out a message just seeing if anybody would be interested in gathering. Again, not affiliated with our team at all, but just like, you know, we all have similar schedules. Maybe we want to kind of get together and just talk about Christian living, go through the Bible a little bit. So I did start that up. I, you know, sent out a message to all the different facets of the Spirit Squad. So cheer, dance, and Bucky. And I was really hyped up because I was really scared, actually, when I sent the message, just because you don't know how that's kind of going to be perceived. And everybody I sent it to is a wonderful human being. It's not like I would ever get hate for it, but just doing something like that, it's just a little nerve-wracking, I guess. Yeah. And it was received really well. And I think over 20 people joined my group chat for it last year, which was huge because I was expecting maybe 5. And a bunch of people came to that first meeting, and of course numbers dwindled, and that happens, life happens, school gets busy, but I was really excited about that. And we're finalizing our date for this semester. We're going to get it back up and going again, but it's just nice. We meet, and you know, usually I pick a topic and I see if anybody has topics that they want. Otherwise, usually they say whatever you want, and then I just pick something and I run it like a classic small group. But
that's awesome.
I do tend to avoid any like controversial topics between different denominations, just because I want anybody to feel welcome. And I said that too, like when I sent the message, I said, even if you've never touched a Bible in your life, feel free to come if you're interested. Just because, you know, it's not a group for people that are experts, that are theologists. Yeah. it's just to read a little bit about it and talk about it. And so like, don't talk about the sacraments, Mother Mary, nothing
so cool.
like that.
Right.
And I say, if you ever have questions or want to come to Mass with me, I'm Catholic and I'm going to answer it in a Catholic lens because that's just my faith.
Right.
But I'll never pick something where I would make you feel like I'm trying to talk against your religion or anything like that. And, you know, there's all different religions and not religion on our teams. And, you know, I just thought the people that are shared in this one might want to come together about it.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So, I imagine that the Spirit Squad, you know, small group is probably the most lively one you're ever going to be a part of.
I mean, not really. I mean, it's a very calm setting actually, which is like, we're all very energized people. We're all people with a lot of spirit.
A lot of energy.
But,
a lot of spirit.
But I feel like it's really a time where everybody kind of just comes together and it's like, it's a good hour. It's nice and it's like, I don't know. It's something that I feel very strongly about.
That's awesome.
I love it.
Now, another part of your background that I know is you were part of a very, very lively small group, the Monday Mob.
The Monday Mob. Oh my gosh,
so tell us a little bit about the Monday Mob.
Yeah, well, actually, I was not super engaged in my faith coming into college. I was raised in a Catholic household and I was confirmed Catholic. I didn't really know what that meant, to be honest. And, you know, I didn't have any intentions of coming to Mass in college or anything like that. And I met one of my friends actually over in August on the Spirit Squad. And don't know what possessed me to say this, but I introduced myself. I went, "Hi, I'm Kylie Burroughs, and I'm Catholic." I don't know why.
Slayed by the Spirit.
Like, it was the Holy Spirit fully, because, like, there was not a scenario where I would have said that to somebody.
I kind of like that, though.
And he went, "Word, me too."
Ooh.
And he was like, "Yeah, I'm actually leading a small group this year for freshmen. You should join."
Was it Frankie?
It was Frankie.
Wow.
Shout out Frankie Milanowski. But I was like, okay. And
Had you ever done anything like that before?
No. And I was like, I went home and I was like, yeah, I'm probably not going to that. Like, I was like, I mean, if he follows up, sure, but I'm not going to ask about it. And a few weeks later, he was like, "Hey, freshman pizza at St. Paul's. Pull up." And I was like, okay. So I went because I was like, free pizza, why not?
Yeah.
And I joined his small group because I said I would, and I stayed true to my word. And then I went to that first meeting, and I made my best friend come with me. I didn't make her. She wanted to come. I told her about it. And actually, no. I told her about freshman pizza, and she came to freshman pizza with me. And so together we were like, okay, we're joining this.
Yep.
Shout out Elena Mitchell. Love her to death. But we were like, okay, we're gonna do this. So we joined this thing, and shout out to all the people that joined Figs that don't know anybody, because that was not my situation. I knew her, and I knew Frankie, the Fig leader.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, just a little context.
Yes.
A Fig is a freshman year group.
Yes.
So they're led by 2 sophomores. It's co-ed. It's really just a simple introduction to the Christian life. We read a little bit of the scriptures, but it's mostly just to make friends. You know, freshman year, it's really scary. You come to campus, you don't know anyone. And so it's really just a place where you meet friends. That's where I met all of my best friends. We've had my old Fig leader on, Janine Norby, on the pod.
Love Janine.
So
wow.
Figs are a great thing that we do here at St. Paul's. Okay, continue. Sorry.
No, please. I that's important.
Yeah.
Fig, not to be confused with first year interest group.
Please don't.
Different from Madison's Figs.
Exactly.
But anyway, and so I went to this, and I actually had also met one of the other guys that joined the Fig. His name is Miles. Shout out Miles McCandless.
Awesome,
I had
dude.
met him once prior. Didn't really know him that well, but I met him just once before. And I went to this Fig, and I just had a blast. And I was like, wow, that was really awesome. And then I was in the AUG bathroom. I lived in AUG. And if you don't know, AUG is set up kind of like in pods. There's 4 rooms, and those 4 rooms share a bathroom. And there's 3 people per room, whatever. And it was a Sunday morning. I started going to Mass. And I had met a couple of people on the Spirit Squad that were Catholic. So shout out Timothy Reese and Cecil Palace as well. All of these people are very important in my faith formation for sure. And so I would just go down the line and I would text them and see if any of them were going to the same Mass that I wanted to go to, because I was not going to go alone. And I'd be like, Mitt, so I called Tim Reese Mitt. I was like, Mitt, are you going to 9:30? And if he would say no, I'd be like, okay, Frankie, Cecil, are you guys going to 9:30? And then one of them would be like, yeah. And I just go sit with them for a while until I got comfortable, obviously. And so I was going to Mass, and I was getting ready for Mass, and I was in the bathroom getting ready, and there was this other girl in there. I didn't know her name, hadn't met her yet, and she was getting ready for the day, and she was like wearing a cute little outfit, and I was like, oh, where are you going? And she was like, I'm going to church. And I was like, no way, me too. Like, what church are you going to? And she's like, yeah, I'm trying out St. Paul's. And I was like, no way, me too. Join my fig. I just joined this like freshman group. You should get in on that. And she was like, okay. And we introduced ourselves. Her name was, her name is Andrea, and she is now one of my best friends of all time.
What a story.
Yes. And so Andrea joined the FIG, and then, you know, I was just becoming really good friends with everybody in my FIG. And I don't know how this happened, but we bonded so quickly. And we grew like rapidly because everybody was like, this is like so much fun. You have to pull up.
Yeah.
And just like Katie Wales, she was the other FIG leader.
Shout out Katie Wales.
And Frankie, they just did such a great job making us like want to come every week, the two of them. And our group grew to, I think the group chat is like about 30 people.
Wow.
It doesn't mean that there were 30 people every week, but there were usually like high numbers, like high teens, I would say.
Yeah.
And I just loved going. And we got so close. And like we would do things outside of FIG. Our group chat, we still use it sometimes to this day. Every birthday is sent in our group chat. Most recent one was Leighton Larson. Happy birthday, Leighton Larson. But you know, we still use that. We should probably get together soon, actually. We did like a
good reminder.
Yeah, we did a get together last winter. We should do one soon. I should text them after this.
Gotcha. So the Monday Mob, you're in the Monday Mob.
We're in the Monday Mob.
How do you keep growing in your faith when you're in college?
Yes, for sure. So also Monday Mob, like we were hyped up about everything, and I just loved going. And I was like, okay, this is really awesome. Flash forward to like November. The St. Paul's does a date auction. Have you guys mentioned the date auction here before?
We have not. First time.
Okay. So the date auction should I look at the camera?
Sure. Go for it.
Okay. Date auction is basically where groups of 3 boys come together and they plan a date, and they're going to pay for the whole date. And they like write it down, and then groups of 3 girls come together and they're going to be bidding on dates. And so the date ideas get posted and the girls bid on them. They don't know who the boys are. And so they're just like, let's say one card is like pumpkin patch, and it wouldn't be because it's like November. And then one card is like dinner and dessert. The girls are going to be like, oh, I want to bid on the pumpkin patch date. I think you can bid on multiple actually, but whoever bids the highest goes on that date. So the girls pay like at St. Paul's, whatever they offered in the auction, and the boys pay for the date.
Right, exactly. All money goes to charity. Yeah,
yes.
It's a very fun thing.
Yes. And I was not able to, I really wanted to do it. I was like, that sounds awesome, but I don't think I can make the actual auction. But I'll go in a group with somebody. I'll like pay my share and I'll do this date auction. And so we're talking about it in Monday Mob, and Parker Newmeyer is like, yeah, like me and my friend want to do this and we need a third. And like, do you want in? And I was like, absolutely, I want in. And it's worth mentioning, like, all of us in Monday Mob were really close, but like, I wouldn't say that I was like super tight knit with any of them really individually at that point yet. Yep. I got there, obviously. But obviously. Yes. And so I went on, we're going to go on this triple blind date. I like to call it a triple blind date. That's my best way of explaining it, because it's like a triple date and you don't know who you're going with. And Parker's friend, who I did not know, she was unable to like make the auction. She decided she didn't want to go on the date, but Andrea was like, I'll do it. So the 3 of us, we're buds, but we're not that close. We go on this auction date with George, Luke, and Henry. Shout out George, Luke, and Henry. And it was so much fun. So much fun. We did dinner. So the reason we bid it on it also was because the idea was dinner and dessert and a possible flight with Father Tim.
Ooh.
Now, Parker, like her dream was to fly with Father Tim. So she saw that and she was like, I'm getting that one. And so we got that one. And then
I had to bid a lot of money for that one.
I have no idea. I don't really remember, to be honest. As it turns out, George just wrote possible flight with Father Tim because it's a possibility in theory, but he never asked Father Tim about it.
Oh my goodness.
And
so by the way, for a little context, Father Tim is an old parochial vicar of St. Paul's. He's now in Okinawa, Japan. We miss him dearly, but he's doing good things. He's an Air Force chaplain over there. But about once a month, he was an Air Force pilot once upon a time before he got the call to the priesthood. And so about once a month, to maintain his flight skills, and I think to continue on with his registration or whatever he needed to have his, license to be able to fly, he had to do a flight. And so oftentimes he would bring St. Paul's students and they would make it part of a raffle, like sign up for this retreat and you'll be entered into a raffle to go on a trip with Father Tim and he'll take you somewhere. And so it was a very, very special thing at St. Paul's for a number of years. We love Father Enan, but he can't fly a plane.
That is true. But Parker wanted that so bad. So that's what we bid it on. And we went and we got dinner. We actually never got dessert at the time. We did not get dessert. And so we just got dinner, but it was so fun. And after that moment, Parker, Andrea, and I, we were like thick as thieves. It was like the three of us were like inseparable.
Yeah, you never ended up dating any of the guys, but
No.
The date was more so for each other just to become friends.
Yes, and it's how we met George, Luke, and Henry. I don't know actually if Parker maybe had known some of them prior, but that is like how we got to be friends with them, and that's how I would say that's when our like best friendship really formed, and really those two are like two of my all-time best friends. And so then I don't really know how it happened. Andrea was just hanging out in my dorm room one night because we literally shared a wall, and she was just chilling, and then she's like, yeah, I got added to this group chat. It's like a bunch of people from church, but I don't really know any of them. And I was like, oh, you should add me. She's like, okay. So she added me, and then I said nothing. Like, nobody knows who I am. She just added me, and for like a month and a half, I don't think I said anything. And one night I was at practice, and I got back from practice, and we had a little whiteboard on our door. And Parker had left a message on my whiteboard, and it was like, Kylie, please come, or it was like, Kylie, room, whatever, or celery, 7th floor, 9th floor, 6th, 7th floor, something like that, like lounge. And she was like, come here. And I was like, I don't know. And I look at my phone, and she's like, Kylie, please come. She's like, I don't know these people. And all the other girls left, please come. And I'm like, my girl Parker, I'll be there.
You gotta help a sister out.
She was actually totally fine. I don't know why she was saying all that. And so I go, and I have no idea what I'm going to. I have no idea what I'm walking into. And I walk in, and it's just a bunch of dudes and Parker. And I don't know any of them. And they're all of the guys from this group chat. And Parker is like introducing me to them, whatever. They don't know me. They're watching the movie Monsters University. And yeah, our group chat got named Uzma Kappa after Monsters University.
It's the legendary junior group chat now,
yes.
right? That formed freshman year. Yes. So there's this group called Uzma Kappa, and these are the juniors of St. Paul's, and they have this legendary group chat and just group of friends.
Oh,
so
yeah.
that was the genesis of it right there.
Yes. And so I introduced myself to all of them, and then I actually they probably thought it was really weird because I took a picture of all of them sitting at a table and labeled all of them by their name and then sent it to the group chat. And I was like, in case anybody was wondering, which I think that's hilarious because I'm the only one that would have been wondering. But I thought that was funny. And I think I did that like twice. I'm not going to lie. Because then like a week later, I saw them all again. And I was like, updated group photo. I don't know what. But, and I got to be really good friends with them. And I don't think I really talked to them that much that night. But I kept going to these events. Parker and Andrea would be like, you should come to this. You should come to this. By events, I just mean like hangouts that they would do. And I got to be really good friends with them. And they were all really engaged in their faith. And I was like, that's how I want to be. Like, they're really cool. They're really awesome people. And like, I see the Holy Spirit working through all of these people in Uzma Kappa. And I want to be like that. And so that's kind of what led me to start getting into my faith. I would say I also think that I lector for St. Paul's, as you know.
Yes.
And
Kylie is the most, you'd think that the world is going to end when Kylie does a reading. This is my impersonation of Kylie. A reading from the first letter of St. Paul. the Thessalonians. It just sounds like the world is going to end when Kylie doesn't read it. The earth will quake.
Well, my goal is just to speak slowly. I mean, it helps with people
No,
understanding.
you do a phenomenal job
Thank
when you
you.
read.
Thank
It's
you.
always, if you're falling asleep during mass, Kylie's up there reading, you will perk right up.
Yes, I'm a little loud, but yeah.
From one loud lecture to another, we can bond over that. There we go.
Yeah. But there was a message sent in the group, St. Paul's group me, and it was like, lectors needed. And I was like, what's that? And it was like reading at mass. And I was like, you know what? If there is one thing I can do, it's talk. And so if
We
I
chose a
have
good
to
guest
talk,
today.
if I'm able to talk, I should talk for the Lord. And so that's what I do. I love talking to the Lord. Actually, let me rephrase that. I love letting the Lord talk through me.
This is so funny.
But and so I did that, and I can't really explain it, but I feel like that also really helped a lot in my faith formation, because I was actually like engaging with what I was seeing at mass.
Yeah.
And I was able to really get into it, and like it also encouraged me to like go to confession more. As weird as that sounds, I was like, if I'm gonna get up in front of a congregation and allow the Lord to work through me, I think I should probably be as like cleansed as I can. And so it got me into the box more, and I'm serious, and I love the box now. That is like my favorite place to be, really. I love it. And
that's so good.
by box, I mean confessional.
That's right.
For
That's
those
right.
that
It's a
don't
little
know.
Gen Z slang for you.
Yes, and so I would just say that's how I got into it. Really, I give a lot of credit to a lot of people, and like I said, there was like Mitt, Frankie, and Cecil, and I saw the faith working through them in all aspects of their life, including the Spirit Squad. And I saw all of Monday Mob and how much joy it brought us. And then that also brought me close to Parker and Andrea, and that tight friendship. Like, there's a quote on TikTok or somewhere, it talks
Where
about
all good
like,
wisdom comes from, yeah.
yeah. And it's something about like getting, a God-given friendship is so hard to find. But yet I have like 30 plus people in my life that I've met here that I would trust my life with, and that I know God put them in my life. And that is something really special to me. And that's something really special about St. Paul's too, is the connections and the relationships. And those relationships are what led me where I am now. And, my Parker and Andrea, all of Uzma Kappa, really love Uzma Kappa.
Yeah.
And it started, I walked in and it was a ton of dudes. We've really expanded. And it is now, the ratio is crazy.
But it is really cool that you guys do have a co-ed group.
Yes.
That is kind of unlike a lot of other spaces on campus, but also at St. Paul's, frankly.
I don't think it started really as a co-ed group. It was a lot of the guys. And I don't know how Parker got involved, but then she got me and Andrea there, and then we've been pulling at the women, and we now actually also have a group chat of the Uzma Kappa women called Uzmamas. And so Uzmama group chat goes crazy too. I love that one.
Oh my goodness, that's so funny. Do you have what's one of your favorite things that you've done with the Uzma Kappa group?
Oh my God. Over the summer we get together, and I love our over the summer get-togethers, because it's like we're being deprived of one another with all of our different locations of living. And so summer between freshman and sophomore year, we all went and stayed up in Wausau, where 3 of our Uzma Kappas are native from.
Yeah, and one of those is the great Matthew Minot.
Yes.
Kylie Burroughs' boyfriend.
That is true.
Yes.
Shout out Matthew Minot.
Shout out to Matthew Minot. We're going to have him back once he comes back from...
He's in Texas doing huge things right now.
He's working for Big Oil. Yeah.
That's true.
That's
He's doing good.
He's doing good things. He'll come back eventually. We'll have him as a guest.
Yes. He'll actually be in the great state of Wisconsin for about 12 hours 3 weeks from now.
Wow.
So,
Okay. Maybe then. We'll see.
Anyways,
so you guys went to Wausau the first summer.
We camped in Joe Jarosky's backyard.
Yeah.
Which was really fun. There were like 18 of us, I think, that went and did that one. And actually the first night it was raining, so one of their Wausau friends that did not know any of us let us stay in the basement of his house. And shout out to him for that, because that was awesome. And I've had the joy of meeting him on a few occasions since then, so he's cool.
Lovely.
But Then we stayed in Joe's backyard. This summer, we all went to Matthew's cabin because his family recently moved onto a lake up in Tomahawk.
Right. So what have you learned about friendship, or what kind of separates, Christian friendship from maybe other friendships on campus, or what's kind of the big denominator that you've kind of learned about these things over time?
That's a tough question because I have a handful of friends from so many different walks of life with so many different beliefs, and I love that personally. And I love being able to understand where other people come from, and even in differences, like find friendship in those scenarios.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. It's tough because the people I've met at St. Paul's, it's just like, I can't even put it into words. It's just a different type of relationship. I don't know. Like there's just, I can't explain. I don't know. Maybe I just like connect with them quicker almost. Yeah. And it's like, it's just at a different level. It's at a level that you don't get with some of your other relationships, I would say. Not to say you can't have a deep friendship with somebody that isn't.
But you can get deep
faith.
And just avoid those surface level questions very quickly when it's centered around the faith and our Lord.
Totally.
And trying to grow as a person and find meaning in the world.
And it's just like the lifestyle when you're like constantly pursuing the Lord and like pursuing your faith as a Catholic is just very different from the secular lifestyle. Even not if somebody's like, I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say, but like, even if you're not living that differently in terms of like your routine, just trying to constantly find God in everything you're doing is just different than not, if that makes sense. And so having people that are also on that same path, on that same journey, it's really nice to just be able to walk with them in a sense.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Cool.
So you talked about a lot about friendship and confession. Are there any things that really also helped you grow in the faith in your time here at St. Paul's?
I'm sure there are. There's so many things. Praying the rosary every day.
Love Mama Mary.
Oh my gosh, wait, can I tell a really funny story? Not Please. Funny, a really awesome story about the rosary. So last semester, it was really convenient for me to pray my rosary after a certain class, like while I was walking on the street. And one day I'm praying my rosary and I'm like looking down, I'm looking at my rosary because also like it's really distracting to like make eye contact with people on the street while you're praying a rosary. So I would like look down, and I was walking to the Cole Center I got knee surgery last winter. And so I was walking to go to my rehabilitation. And sorry, I've never said that full word. I always just say rehab. But I'm looking at the ground and I see this bracelet and it has a cross on it. And it's like in the dirt by Whitty. And I just walked past it at first. And I'm like, no, turn around and get that. And I was like, but I'm like convincing myself, I'm like, no, like, why would I want to turn around and grab that bracelet? Like, there's no reason to. It's like a bracelet in like the dirt. So I keep walking and I'm like, okay, no, I'm going to grab it. Or I'm just going to look at it at least. So I go back, I pick it up and I count the beads and there's 10 beads. And I'm like, okay, so this is a rosary bracelet. Or at least if it's not, it can be used as one. And I'm like, that means it's a Catholic person's bracelet, which means it's somebody at St. Paul's bracelet. Now, let me just explain. I understand that is a crazy amount of loops to jump through right there, and that like just seeing a bracelet with 10 beads and a cross on the ground should not automatically mean that it's somebody from St. Paul's. But that's just where my brain went. And I didn't know how I was going to get it to whoever this is, but I just stick it in my pocket. And I go to rehab, carry about my day, come back. I think I went to noon mass that day. And then afterwards I was talking to Parker and I was like, hey, by the way, like, do you know if this is anybody's bracelet? And she's like, I've never seen that before. And I go, oh, there was also a baseball on it. And I was like, I think it's Aiden Hackles. He's a sophomore here now. And she was like, I mean, maybe, but I don't know. And I'm like, okay. And the reason I thought it was Aiden Hackles, I don't even know if he played baseball. His cousins went to my high school and they played baseball. So that's just how it got into my brain. And I'm like, it's by Whitty. It's probably a freshman, whatever. And I put it in my pocket and I'm like, okay. And this was during Lent. And I had given up Instagram for Lent. That was one of the things I gave up. But this was one of the feast days. And it was like, we didn't have to do why am I forgetting all my words here?
You don't have to do the penance on a feast day.
Yes, on the feast day. And I was like, I can go on Instagram, so I'm going to go on Instagram. And I'm zooming in on Aiden's pictures and like looking at his wrists, and I'm not seeing the bracelet. But I'm like, okay, whatever. So I put it in my pocket, carry about my day. And Oh, I was not at New Mass because I went to Candlelight. No, I didn't. I had a study group that night. I didn't go to Candlelight because I had a study group. That's why I was at New Mass. Anyway, so I'm back at St. Paul's for my study group. And I didn't really see, I also like did not know in like at all at the time. And I like didn't see him around very often. Like our paths just didn't tend to cross. But that night I saw him and I see him in the lobby and I go, Aiden Hackle. And I knew who he was because we went on SPK together. Huge shout out for SPK. But he's like, yes. And so I go on over to him and I pull the bracelet out of my pocket and I go, I think this is yours. And I had no reason for this. And he goes, yeah, it is. And he was like, are you kidding me right now? And I was like, are you kidding me right now? Like, are you messing with me? Are you just saying that? And he's like, Kylie, I've been looking for this like all day. Like, I've been praying to St. Anthony. Like, I did not know where this was. And he was like, I retraced all my steps. I've done everything. Like, how did you find this? And I was like, it was in the dirt by a tree at Whitty, and I thought it was yours for no reason. I just thought it was yours. But Holy Spirit. So
Holy Spirit, Mama Mary, St. Anthony, the community of saints.
Probably said that so long-windedly, but I mean, I love that story because I was like, wow. But anyway, pray the rosary because maybe you'll find somebody's missing bracelet.
Amen to
and
that.
For all the other fruits that come from it.
Amen. And there's no better way to end than with praying the rosary as advice. So Kylie Burroughs, it was a pleasure having you on today. It was such a joy.
Much.
You are just full of energy. I mean,
thanks.
People after this podcast are going to be buzzing because this is the joy.
Potentially, I
going
guess.
Through the mic. So thank you for all the good things
yes.
you do for St. Paul's and
thank
look forward
you.
to seeing you to all the things that you do here.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys again for listening to another episode of the Vox Paulis. Stay tuned for more as we come. Thank you very much. Godspeed. Pox. See you later. St. Paul,
pray for us.